Good Friday, everybody. Today's going to be a little bit different show. I'm not going to be reading you the news or doing anything with that. I think there's a ton of stuff going on in the world, but none of it compares even remotely closely to the fact that today we celebrate Good Friday, the day that Jesus Christ was sacrificed on a cross. And I just want to talk a little bit about that because of how important and monumental that is in our lives, or at least it should be, especially if you are a Christian. So today we celebrate Jesus Christ, who was sacrificed for our sins on the cross almost 2,000 years ago. And so it is incredibly important that we remember who he is and what he did for us today and this whole entire weekend. I advise that if you can, get out and go to a Good Friday service at your church, go to an Easter service on Sunday, bring your friends, bring your family, anybody who is willing to come. I think that it's incredibly important to celebrate Jesus Christ and the sacrifice that he made for us oh so long ago. So today we're going to do a little bit of Bible reading, but not our normal Bible reading. We're going to read out of, what is this? Matthew 27. It's going to be the events on the day that led up, the events on Good Friday that led to and include Jesus hanging on the cross. So we're going to start in Matthew 27, verse 27. And so that begins. The soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole garrison around him. And they stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. When they had twisted a crown of thorns, they put it on his head and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" Then they spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. And when they had mocked him, they took the robe off him, put his own clothes on him, and led him away to be crucified. Now as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they had come to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, place of a skull, they gave him sour wine mingled with gall to drink. But when he had tasted it, he would not drink. Then they crucified him, and divided his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. Sitting down, they kept watch over him there, and they put up over his head the accusation written against him, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Then two robbers were crucified with him, one on the right and another on the left. And those who passed by blasphemed him, wagging their heads and saying, "You who destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." Likewise the chief priests also, mocking with the scribes and elders, said, "He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he is the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now if he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God." Even the robbers who were crucified with him reviled him with the same thing. Now from the 6th hour until the 9th hour there was darkness over all the land. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani?" That is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Some of those who stood there, when they heard that, said, "This man is calling for Elijah." Immediately one of them ran and took a sponge, filled it with sour wine, and put it on a reed, and offered it to him to drink. The rest said, "Let him alone. Let us see if Elijah will come to save him." And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice, and yielded up his spirit. Then behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth quaked, and the rocks were split, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the graves after his resurrection, they went into the holy city, and appeared to many. So when the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and the things that had happened, they feared greatly, saying, "Truly this was the Son of God." and many women who followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering to him, were there looking on from afar, among whom were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's sons. Now when evening had come, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who himself had also become a disciple of Jesus. This man went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be given to him. When Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his new tomb, which he had hewn out of the rock. And he rolled a large stone against the door of the tomb and departed. And Mary Magdalene was there, and the other Mary sitting opposite the tomb. On the next day, which followed the day of preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees gathered together to Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember while he was still alive, how that deceiver said, After 3 days I will rise. Therefore command that the tomb be made secure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say to the people, He has risen from the dead. So the last deception will be worse than the first. Pilate said to them, You have a guard. Go your way. Make it as secure as you know how. So they went and made the tomb secure, sealing the stone and setting the guard. So this is the story of Jesus Christ's death on the cross. It's not the end of the story. It's just the beginning. And just like those Pharisees were concerned about, Jesus claimed that he would rise again after 3 days. And as we know, he did. And so we will be celebrating that wondrous event on Sunday. We call it today Easter. And I hope and I pray that you are all encouraged by this story of Jesus Christ and the death and ultimately resurrection of him and how that will save us from our sins. I hope that you have a faith in Jesus Christ like I do. And just God bless everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you spend some time with family and that you just think about and ponder the life of Jesus Christ and all of the wonderful things that he's done for us and the safety and the security that you can have in his salvation. So God bless and happy Easter.